Hey, this is Knife Standards. Today I'm going to be doing a mini review, kind of an overview on the Benchmade Mini Osborne. But first, please follow me at Knife Standards. You can follow me on Instagram, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for a lot more knife content and weekly knife reviews. All right, cool. So let's get that out of the way and let's get into it. So I don't have that many knives from Benchmade. They're not my favorite knives, but this one kind of stuck out to me, and I've actually had it for a while. I'm just now getting around to reviewing it. Thought you guys might be interested in seeing a Benchmade on my channel. I know, especially this guy, the Mini Osborne, is pretty popular. It's an older design. It's kind of a standard in the Benchmade lineup. This blade is coated, has I'm assuming DLC coating on it. We have black G10 scales, and these are actually it's really nice G10. You can kind of see this texturing. They're nicely milled and chamfered down. No sharp edges on the G10. It's super smooth. There's a little bit of texture, which is nice. Now, the clip is reversible. You can see those three little screws. You can put them on this side. And if you have never had a Benchmade, this is the axis lock. So you can just pull down on the lock and close the knife, or you can pull down and flick it out. Pretty cool. The only downside to that is there is a spring in there. You can kind of see it wrapped around, and those things break. So when that breaks, your knife is not usable until it gets another spring in there. I think it's an Omega spring. So that's kind of a bummer, but mine has not broken. And I've actually been pretty hard on this particular knife. And this was my kind of go-to backup knife. It's fairly small. Let's go ahead and get a little size comparison going, and we'll just see just how small it is. Here's another one of my, actually it was my favorite knife, kind of my go-to standard for a long time. It's my Benchmade Mini Freak. And we'll go ahead and bust out the Wee Sakshi since it's sitting right here. And it is another kind of blue-black colored, aesthetically you can kind of see the blue liners with the black scales and blue liners with black scales. And both the blades are coated, even though this one has just a solid coat. I think it's DLC. I don't know. We'll just call it DLC. Same stuff. DLC coating, and then this is more of a stone wash or a black washed finish. Let's get the little measuring tape. We already know Benchmade Mini Freak, just about 3 inches, and then 7 overall for the Mini Osborne. Yep, 3 inches right on the dot. And about 7 overall. So these are actually very similar, even though the Mini Freak looks like it, kind of towers over. Very similar size. And then the Sakshi, about 3.5 on the blade actually, so a little bit bigger, and about 7.5 overall. So let's go ahead and see. Yep, it kind of fits inside the Sakshi's outline. And let's move this up, get the Sakshi out of the way. By the way, the Sakshi action has broken in a ton. Really, even after my my review of this, it's been finding its way into my pocket. Okay, so let's go ahead and see. Obviously a thinner blade, has a reverse tanto blade shape. Kind of have this swoop down here. Nice kind of swedge action going on. You got the Benchmade logo, thumb studs, and a ton of hardware, a ton of screws, which I think are T6. Let's go ahead and check it out. Yep, T6, 1, 2, 3, 4. So four T6 screws in there. Great, that's nice. And let's see, the close, excellent. We'll get the Mini Freak out of the way. Now, when I first got the Mini Osborne, it was pretty tight, meaning when I tried to deploy it, you know, I don't think this really has a detent, you know, like a traditional detent, because it is the axis lock, but it's a little bit hard to deploy. And then when I hit the axis lock to disengage the knife, disengage the lock, it would not fall shut like that. It kind of stopped a little bit short here and was a little bit gritty. So all I did was adjust the pivot screw, and that's kind of the go-to for this knife. You don't want blade play, and you want it to kind of drop. So made a little adjustment, you know, a quarter of a turn. It was solid. Let's go ahead and take a look at the back side, or the clip side. I hate this clip. This is you know, one of Benchmade's kind of go-to standard clips. Not my thing. For lefties, I guess this is great because it's reversible, you can put it on either side, but it just didn't feel great in my pocket. And as far as ergos go, you can feel it right here. I mean, this is very pokey. So, and also look, it's not even touching the scale. Not my favorite clip. I think they can definitely do better on that. Will they change anything? No, I don't think so. As far as ergos go, aside from that hot spot, ergos are pretty good. My index finger has a comfortable resting place here. There is no, although you can rest it here, there is no finger choil. There's a little sharpening choil, but up here there's just a touch of jimping, and it's actually like, it's jimping on the liner, which is kind of cool. I rarely see that. Jimping feels great. I can rest my thumb. The cutting action, pretty smooth. Again, I've been pretty hard on this knife, harder on this knife than other knives, and it's held up. The Omega spring hasn't broken. Action is solid. It's like a little mini workhorse. It is in S30V, which some people will say is not a good blade steel, but I think it's just fine. Solid stuff. Is it M390? No. Or MagnaCut? No. Does it need to be? No. It's fine. Now, for the price, you know, this knife comes in, I think, like around $200, if not a little bit more. For the price, is this worth it? S30V and G10 scales? No, I don't think so. I would much rather have a titanium knife with, you know, S35VN, M390, something, you know, S45VN, something a little, you know, a little upgraded, but it's not the end of the world here, you know. S30V is just fine. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do my new favorite thing to do, which is the quick paper cut test. I've done, you know, a fair amount of cutting with this knife, so, and I have not sharpened it, have not taken it apart. So let's just see how the edge has kind of held up over the last few weeks. Yep. Now that's not. I mean, for the amount that I've used this knife, it's really not. It's not bad. It needs, you know, a stropping, or you know, little green compound and a stropping or a sharpening. But I've put this blade through a lot, and it's held up. So I think that just about covers it. This is this is a solid knife. You know, if you like the Axis lock, it's a good choice. They have a larger version of this. They have the Benchmade Osborne, the regular, and they're numbered. It's 940. You can see Osborne design. They also have an automatic version. I think it's the regular. I don't think it's the mini. I think it's the regular sized Osborne. If you're into the Axis lock, then you'll love this knife. Really functional blade shape, cool looking. It holds up to, you know, harder uses. I mean, I feel like it's one step above the bug out. I know everyone freaks out about the bug out, but I think this is the better knife, and also the better looking knife. I love that there is, you know, a pop of color. We got the blue liners. The G10 is really nice. I hate that there's so many screws and so much, you can just feel them too. So much kind of aesthetic hardware that you have to look at. But, you know, a lot of people will not care about that. So overall, solid little knife, fits in the palm of your hand. It could almost be a 5th pocket knife. Is it my favorite? No. Is it my style right now? Definitely not. But it is a useful little knife. If this guy goes on sale, or if you see it for a good price, they made another version. This is the older version. They made a newer version, and I think it has some red accents, or maybe it's, I think it's carbon fiber. I think it's in carbon fiber. So if you see, you know, this guy go on sale, or the new version have a price drop, then yeah, then go for it. But I just would rather have a titanium knife or a frame lock. I don't really want my Omega spring to break, and that's just the spring that lets the Axis lock do its thing. And those springs can and do break. Hasn't broken on this, so it's held up. So I don't have anything to complain about. But I don't really like risking that if I don't have to. Overall, yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's okay. This is an okay knife. It's not my favorite. I'm not hating on it. Benchmade does make some good stuff. You know, I know some of you love Benchmade, and some of you are going to be like, yeah, screw Benchmade. Oh, they're heat treats, and, you know, the bevel is this and that, whatever. But, you know, not bad. Not bad. I think that just about covers it. Thank you guys so much for listening. This was going to be a mini review, but it ended up going a little bit longer than I planned. Have a ton of videos coming up soon. We're climbing the ranks with subscribers on YouTube, followers on Instagram. I really appreciate every single one of you. Some of you reached out with DMs and comments. I love it. So thank you guys so much. This has been Knife Standards. I'll catch you later.